Hey everybody, how's it going? Okay, I am so excited about this video. I'm gonna be announcing a project that is so dear to my heart. I've been thinking about this for so long. So first thing I want you to do, if you haven't already, go grab a cup of tea, cup of coffee, a whiskey, glass of wine, whatever time it is, whatever you're into, glass of water, just grab it, get comfy, because I'm so excited to share this with you. I'm drinking a epic coffee from Guatemala called La Maravilla, which is rather appropriate actually, as you'll see soon enough. So I'm gonna just cut straight to the chase. I am announcing today the Multilingual book club, and I love it, right? So I'm gonna talk to you about what this sort of project is. We'll talk about the book that we're gonna read for the very first round, and I'll be telling you just some information about why this is so special to me, why I think it's valuable to the language learning community, and of course I'll go over all the details of the project. Okay, I'm gonna start with the spoilers because I know that some people may not wanna watch the whole thing. So, first of all, if at any point in this video you decide, I'm in, this is me, I wanna do this, which I think everybody should do, come on. Then I'm gonna leave a link in the description to a really simple little type form where you can sign up. It's totally free, of course. The sign up process, all that does is it just really helps me to figure out how many people are actually doing this, how much interest is there, and also it gives me the ability to send little motivational emails maybe once a week, but there is an option for that. So you can either sign up for that or you can say, no, don't want to know. I don't need motivation. I don't want community. I'm just kidding. But if you say no, I'll just send you one email when the challenge actually starts, just so you know. That's it. So that's the first thing. If you want to join in, obviously this is optional, but please sign up at the link and that will just really help me so I know how much we should invest in this going forward. Spoiler number 2. What book are we gonna read? Okay. Seriously, you should really stick around for the whole video because I'm gonna be sharing so much excitement and I love it. But for those of you who don't want to, are you ready? Okay, this is it. La Sombra del Viento. So this is a spectacular novel by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. Takes place in Barcelona, where I used to live, and this book has actually been on my bookshelf since 2017 when I lived there. But now let me just open up my heart and tell you why this is so darn exciting. So, if you know my story, you will know that I adore reading books in foreign languages. It is one of my favorite things in life. I mean, it's hard to describe, right? I grew up thinking that I didn't like to read, right? I had this narrative since I was really, really young that, I'm really athletic and sporty, not really good at school, and I don't really like to read. And to be honest, when I was really young, I just couldn't sit still. I wanted to climb trees and play football. That was about it, right? And so as I grew up, that narrative just stayed with me, and I didn't ever really engage in reading, especially fiction. It wasn't until learning Japanese where I began reading sort of essays and novels, but it was very difficult, and it was mostly a tool for learning the language. I did start to feel a little tingle in my heart, for sure. And there's something just so special about Japanese novels. I can't describe it. We'll talk about that more. But it's actually with French that I fell madly and deeply in love with reading novels in foreign languages, right? It started out the same, right? It was a tool for learning French. But as I went deeper and deeper, and as I just became kind of obsessed with wanting to finish my first novel in French, which was really, really challenging, and we'll talk about that. But don't worry, we'll also talk about how we're gonna help you through that. But it was hard, and as I got deeper into it, oh my God, it's just so magical. I fell so deeply in love with reading fiction through French that I've actually now read more novels in French than I have in English. And I wouldn't give up those memories for the world. Those are some of my most cherished memory. I can't even speak, it's so beautiful. Long story short, reading literature in foreign languages became something so special to me. And over the years, as I taught tons of people when I used to teach languages full time, and I did language coaching, but even more so doing this YouTube channel where I have the opportunity, to see comments and interactions with so many thousands of people, I've seen that reading novels in foreign languages, it's something that really a lot of people want to do. It's very often like one of those top goals people have in learning a language. Not everybody, right? But it seems to be really common. But what I've also seen is that very, very few people ever actually succeed in doing it, right? And I'm not gonna scare you here, don't worry. This is the whole point of this project. I just wanna tell you that this is what led me to want to create this book club. It's that, yeah, reading novels, it is relatively hard, right? Relative to all the things you can do in a foreign language, reading a novel, it's really up there. And, you know, some of the reasons for this are that, you know, the level of vocabulary we typically use in daily speech, colloquially, right, casually, it's much smaller than that which you find inside of novels. So there's a far greater amount of vocabulary that's used, but also just the overall breadth of language, right? Whether it's colloquial speech or idiomatic usage of things or sayings, cultural and historical references, you know, slang, just like there's so much stuff, right? The complexity of narrative, which you find inside of these stories, right, can sometimes be, it's very layered, right? It's challenging to keep track of. Usually keeping track of a novel is probably more complex than keeping track of a short one-on-one conversation. However, first thing I'll say is that those things that make it so challenging, they're also the things that make it so deeply enriching, fulfilling, rewarding. It's wonderful. It is so magnificent. And so what I want to do with this project, ultimately, I want to help as many people as possible succeed in having that experience. It's been so life-changing for me. It's really genuinely enriched my experience of life. And I wanted to find a way that we could help as many people succeed there as possible. But I'm always looking to find community-based solutions, right? And so here is the plan. I'm going to be reading books all throughout the year in different languages. So this first one happens to be a Spanish novel, so I'll be reading this in Spanish. But I'm going to try my very best to choose books that have been widely translated into as many languages as possible. And so this particular book has been translated into over 40 languages, I believe. I even found copies in Persian and Arabic. It's been translated into quite a lot. You know, unfortunately, it's unlikely I'm going to be able to find books that are available in every single language, but I will do my very best to keep this as inclusive as I can. So the idea is that I will read the book in the original language. So in this case, it's Spanish. Next time it could be French, could be Japanese. I have a Swedish novel I'm dying to read, but that's going to take me some time to get prepared for that. And because the book is available in so many languages, hopefully you can all join me and read it in whichever language you would like, right? Now, really important point. There are two options here. You could choose to read it primarily in a language you are learning. Totally cool, right? But you can also totally feel free to choose to read the book in your native language. And one thing I really want to promote here in this project is I don't want anybody to feel like they're a lesser person, like they're less cool because they're reading it in their native language, right? And I don't want anybody to feel like we're better than the other people because we're reading it in a foreign language, right? So I don't want any of that. This is truly about coming together and reading the same book as a community and supporting each other. So that's the sort of two large branches. Now, both of those options are going to be profoundly beneficial for your language learning, right? So this is what's so magical here. It's that even if you choose to read the book in your native language, I'm going to be showing you so many ways that that can still be really, really special and helpful for your foreign language learning through this book club. So I will basically document my entire journey through the book. And I'm telling you, it is going to be a journey, right? This is never easy, even for me, no matter how good you are. But again, that's the magic. But what I want to do is I want to be very explicit about showing the good and the bad, right? So if I'm struggling through chapter 5, a lot. I want to show that because, well, probably everyone is struggling through chapter 5. So I want to make sure that everybody sees it's normal, totally normal, right? And if I start to feel kind of depressed and I'm not sure if I'm going to finish this book, I'll share that too, because the whole point here is to show a really genuine and authentic perspective into what this looks like. The fact is, it's not easy. And Spanish is one of my best languages now, but even then, even having a pretty advanced level in Spanish, this will undoubtedly be challenging for me. So it's going to be a journey, and I basically will document the whole process. Now, it is a book club, so what we'll do is we'll think of milestones for each book, depending on how long it is, how many chapters there are, what makes sense. So for example, maybe after 5 chapters, we do a live stream. It could be a video that I just publish, or it could be a live stream, and I'll just talk about the book and we'll have a discussion. Maybe we'll have a discussion in a live chat. We'll think of a really cool format. But the point is, we will have a discussion about the book as we go through. And what I will then do, and this is where I think it really gets magical and comes full circle, I'm going to post on Journaly, right? So if you haven't heard about Journaly yet, it's my foreign language journaling platform. It's going super well. We have 4,000 users now. It's really mind-blowing, and the community is so special there. And so I'm going to write posts about the book club, right? I'm going to write my thoughts, my musings, meditations on a particular aspect of the story. It could be anything. The point is that you got the reading aspect, so you're going to be taking in, language, taking in this story. But again, whether you read it in your native language or a target language, you can still journal in your target language regardless. And so it doesn't matter, you're still gonna get benefit. Now, one approach, I'm gonna have a lot of videos about this, but one approach I will tell you now is that even if you read it in, like in my case, in English, I could still have the Spanish version next to me. And what I'll do is every time I come across some language that I think like, oh my God, that was beautiful, right? I love that quote. I love the way they express this thing, right? Well, what I can do is I can take sticky notes and put them all over that target language book. So when I come to write my Journaly post, I can actually reference the target language text, and I can see like, how did the author or the translator, how did they choose to express this language that spoke to me and touched my heart? How did they express that in my target language? And then you could make a point to try to use similar language in your Journaly post. Now again, if you don't know, the whole point of Journaly is that we can exchange and give each other feedback. So my hope here is that if we get a diverse enough group of participants, we'll have native speakers of so many different languages. So hopefully we can then give each other feedback and everybody can get engagement on their posts. So I think this is such a wonderful sort of full circle project there, where again, we can read it together, right? We'll all be supporting each other. We'll be on the YouTube comments in my videos, right? I'll show my ups and downs. You can share yours in the comments, right? But then we'll have discussions via live streams and things like that. And then we'll actually turn that input into output. And we will write posts on Journaly. We'll get feedback from each other. And this also enables us to do a lot of cool stuff. So I will create a special topic on Journaly for the book club. That means that anyone who's in the book club, you can just search for that topic in the filters and you'll see all the posts on Journaly from everyone who's participating, right? Then you could filter by language, find the ones that you're interested in. So here's some other details. I will be giving you badges for participation. So anybody who writes a post on Journaly with that topic selected, I'll give you a badge, right? Wouldn't that be so much fun? We can basically collect badges. So every time we do a new book, there'll be a new badge and you can collect those over time. Another idea that came up was we could actually create bookmarks for each book that we read. So my thought here is that we could do like a design competition on Instagram or something like that. And all of you, anybody who wants to, if you're an artistic person, if you're a designer, or you just like doing this as a hobby, we could do a little competition, right? And we could choose a winner, and then I will happily get those bookmarks made. Now, I'm a little nervous about the cost, but I would assume It won't be too crazy, so I'll happily make a bunch of bookmarks and I'll send them to anybody who wants it. And so you can collect badges on Journaly, but you could also collect physical bookmarks for each one that we do. I think this would be so much fun. We could also do Instagram competitions where you could do like Instagram stories reading your book and do like a little hashtag, and then I'll happily send out prizes. We'll think of something really cool. Maybe the bookmark could be a prize for that, but we'll see. And then finally, because of Journaly, I can get data on everybody's participation, right? So I could give a prize for whoever writes the most words. I could give a prize for whoever gives the most feedback and helps the community. The point here, in summary, I just think this could be such a wonderful way to help so many people who might have otherwise failed, right? Who might have not had the support, the knowledge, the experience, whatever, to get through a novel in a new language. I think that we could help so many of those people actually get through it, right? And those of you who have done this before, those of you who don't need the support necessarily, still, like, what a wonderful opportunity to help our fellow community members support each other. And I just think that we could all improve our language skills so dramatically through writing all these Journaly posts, doing all the input. I love it. And that's it. I'll cut this here. This has been a bit long, but I really hope you'll go to the link in the description and join. And I guess I should also say really quickly that I'm not going to start this for at least about a month or so for two reasons. I want to make sure that everybody has plenty of time to get the book. So I know that in some languages, it might not be as simple to get a hold of a copy. So I want to give you plenty of time to get your own copy of the book. And I also want to, give you time to prepare, right? So doing this well in advance, please go sign up and please let me know your thoughts. I really genuinely would love to know if you actually are excited about this and what you're feeling. And with that, I will bid you a fantastic weekend.